بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. So tonight inshallah we'll take the masail regarding those things that are prohibited for a person in ihram to do. They're called محظورات الإحرام. Those things that are prohibited for a person in ihram to do. And in saying that, that means these things are prohibited because of ihram. Once you get into ihram, then these rules apply to you. Most of them. So the Shaykh says that وَيَجْتَنِبَ الْمُحْرِمُ, that the muhrim, the person in ihram, has to avoid certain things. So he says وَيَجْتَنِب, you have to avoid. This ruling of avoiding is that it is wajib. You have to avoid. If you do not avoid it for no reason, you get sin. You get sin and you have to give a fidyah. You have to give the penalty, we're going to mention it. And if there's a reason for you to engage in this, then there's no sin, but you have to give the fidyah. You have to give the fidyah. So the Shaykh says the muhrim. We say it specifically for those in ihram. جميع محظورات الإحرام. All of the محظورات الإحرام. Okay. من حلق الشعر. The first mahzur of ihram is to remove hair. To remove hair. Any hair on the body. To remove it in any method is not permissible during ihram. To remove it in any method is not permissible in ihram. Included in that is nose hair. Nose hair. It's part of the outside of the body. Remember we said in wudu, it's part of the face. We said it's part of the face. In fasting, you're also allowed to sniff water because it's on the outside of the body. It's on the outside of the body. Therefore the hairs of the nose, they are deemed from the outside of the body. So you also cannot remove hairs from the outside of your body. So therefore all hairs on your body, you cannot remove them intentionally, or even unintentionally. In fact, on the mashhur of your body during ihram. Now, the next thing is nails. So hairs and nails. Allah says, وَلَا تَحْلِقُوا رُؤُوسَكُمْ حَتَّى يَبْلُغَ الْهَدْيُ مَحِلَّ. That you're not allowed to remove or shave your hair until you reach out of ihram, until you go out of ihram. The second thing is your nails. Fingernails and toenails you're not allowed to remove while you are in ihram. We'll get just now to the wisdom. Why do we have these rules for ihram? We'll go to it just now. But let's start with these first. In fact, the next one. So therefore the scholars say, if your hair falls out, or your hair is affecting you, or your nail is affecting you, okay? Your nail broke, it's affecting you. So now we're saying your hair is affecting you, or your nail is affecting you. In this case, you are allowed to remove it, and there's no fidyah. Because they call it daf'u as-sa'il. They say this is counting part is daf'u as-sa'il. That the hair itself is affecting you, or the nail itself is affecting you, so you are allowed to remove this, and there's no fidyah. Number two, something is affecting you, and that means you got to remove your hair as well. You have some burn or something on your skin, you have to remove your hair. So now you have to remove your hair, but you're not affected by your hair, or you're not affected by your nail. Then in this case, you are allowed to remove it, but you have to give the fidyah. The third situation is when something happens where your hair or your nail was removed, but the objective was not to remove your hair or your nail. For example, your finger got chopped off. Then your nail is gone, it's removed. But this is secondary. It's not your objective. The main thing is your finger is gone. So secondary was your nail. So therefore, you don't have to give fidyah. If you have to shave your hair for some reason, some issue in your scalp, for example, then what would you do? You're allowed to, but you have to give fidyah. Because the issue is not from the hair, it's from the scalp. Okay? So that's with regard to that. But the scholars say you're allowed to scratch yourself, you're allowed to comb your hair, but softly, gently, so you don't remove anything. The moment one hair goes or one nail goes, you have to feed one poor person. And if two go, you have to feed two. We're going to mention how to feed just now. The moment three goes, then it falls into fidyatul adha. Remember that term when I come to it just now, fidyatul adha. So that's for hair and that's for nails. Then the Shaykh says walubsil makhit. Now when you go into ihram, that means your intention for Hajj or Umrah. Then it is sunnah as well when you make your intention that you are wearing cloths, two cloths called The top part is called the rida, and the bottom is called the izar. Okay? So it's two cloths, like towels. You wrap it around you. It is sunnah to be in that when you make your intention of going into ihram. Right? Once you made your intention that you are now in ihram, if you are wearing normal clothes, you have to remove it. You have to remove it as soon as you can. Okay, so it's not a must that you're in the cloths when you make your intention, but after your intention, you have to remove the clothing as soon as you know. The same way, if we were to tell somebody, for example, he changed his clothes and then he said, I did tawaf without wudu, for example. Then we'd say, your umrah is not valid. Tawaf needs to be in wudu. So we say to him, you are still in ihram. He has to now go and remove his clothing. So now if he delays removing his clothing, he's got to give fidyah. But it doesn't mean there on the spot he removes his clothes or he tears his clothes. Not that. But he has to remove it as soon as he can. So if you are in the plane, for example, and you're not wearing your ihram, your clothes, you can make your intention there. But then you must be changing your clothes as soon as you can. As soon as you can, you must change it. Otherwise, you have to give fidyah. Okay? Now, I said you have to be in clothes. The wisdom for that, and the wisdom for these things in ihram. The next thing is perfume, removing hair, removing nails. Is that in Hajj, you should avoid things of luxury. You should be as simple as you can. As simple and as natural as you can. That's why you wear two cloths. Just random cloths, you fold it over yourself. A few wisdoms of that is, it reminds you of death. It reminds you of death. Because when you die, you'll be clouded. You'll be shrouded. You'll be shrouded. You'll be cladded. That's I think what I wanted. You'll be shrouded in your coffin. It's just cloths as well. So it should remind you of death. It should remind you of simplicity. It should remind you of humility. It reminds people everyone is being equal. That this is what you wear. Everyone wears that. It reminds you that you are in ihram as well. To remember that you are doing the actions of Hajj. And it also reminds you that you're not allowed to do these things because you are wearing this clothing. That's the same thing for hair, same thing for nails. Is that you want to be natural. You don't want to be in a luxury manner, in a manner where you're basically beautifying yourself. That's why it is sunnah, when you do ihram, to remove hairs from your body. Armpit hair, pubic hair, etc. These are hairs that basically, because you're going to be in ihram for a period of time, smells and dirt can go into these areas. So it's sunnah to remove them. It's sunnah to remove them. So when the Shaykh says, lubsil makhit, this is a mas'ala that's quite tricky. So what is the meaning of makhit? The scholars say that makhit means to wear a piece of clothing that is made, knitted, or you will make it in a manner where it goes on a body part. It fits specifically for the body part. So it's like you wear a glove. It's made specifically for the hand. Or you wear a thobe. This is what we call a thobe. The fuqaha call it when they call it a thobe, they mean a piece of cloth. We are calling it this that we are wearing. This is made for the body. This is made for the body. So this is not permissible. It's not permissible to wear something that is made specifically for body. Your jacket, you put your hands inside, it's made specifically for the body. On the mashhur of the madhab, even if you don't put your hands inside and you just put your jacket on your shoulders, you have to give fidyah. You have to give fidyah. So these things that are worn on the body, socks, it's worn for the feet. Even if you wore socks on your hands, it's made for the hand. These things are not permissible. So I said made for the hand. Or it is not made for the hand, but you made it for your body part. You made it for your body part. You put a pin. So now there's something on your arm, you put a pin for these cloths and now it became as if it's made for your body part. You put a pin or like you put something through it, you knitted it, so it became now for the body part. That is mahdhura bi haram. That is not permissible. So what's important here is, it says makhit. Makhit means something that is knitted. It has knitting in it. It has khayt. It's used like a needle and a cotton in it. So people think that what is prohibited is if you wear a piece of clothing that merely has knitting on it. It's sewn. Merely having that is impermissible. That's not the case. That's not the case. Therefore, you can wear ihram. You can wear ihram, it has knitting on it. If you have if there's a tear on your ihram, you can knit something on it to cover the hole. Or you have two pieces of cloth It's not big enough. Your one cloth is not big enough to go around. So you take two to go around your body part, top or bottom. So you knit them together. You put khayt, it's makhit. You've knitted it, but it's permissible. Because the point of makhit is not having khayt. It's not having a needle in it. It's about the thing being on the body part. On the body part. So when we say that, then there's a few things connected to that. Your izar, your lower garment that you're going to tie on your body, you must tie it on your body. You must basically fold it. You cannot put a belt on yourself, because that would make it makhit. It will make it now on the waist. So you cannot put a belt. You cannot put a pin on it. And also, basically, you have to basically fold it into each other. You can't make it come around the body. That will make it makhit. Therefore, the scholars say that only in 3 situations are you allowed to basically tie your lower garment. You're allowed to tie. And that is if you cannot keep it up. You don't know how to tie it correctly, that it won't slip down. Many people don't wear the izar. They wear trousers. So they don't know how to tie it for ihram. Then in that case, if you were to use a belt or something to tie it, or you were to tie it itself, it's permissible. Or you want to keep your belongings, your money, your phone, your documents in something, and you put that in like a pouch that you tie on your body, on your lower body, and you can do that. So you can wear it on a pouch on your izar, and you can do that. That'll be permissible. But to wear that pouch for no reason, not for something needy, like your money or your phone or something like that, it would be a mahdhura bi haram. It will be a mahdhura bi haram. And to tie your thing without, to use a belt or something without the need, it will be a mahdhura bi haram. It will be a mahdhura bi haram. Therefore, you get some ihrams that they have a elastic inside of them. They have elastic. It's already, you wear it like a trouser, but it has no place for your legs. And this is made on your body. It's made on your body. It's similar almost to a skirt. It's almost similar to a skirt. يسمونها أنتم تنورة؟ Okay. This is almost like a skirt. So then this would fall into this. It would not be permissible to wear that. If you are able to tie it, it's not permissible. If you are not able to tie it, then you can wait. Then there's scope to wait on the madhab. Okay? So that's with regards to that. Then the next thing we're going to mention with regards to libs al-makhit is your sandals. What is the sandals? The footwear of the muhrim. So if you look at many sandals, there can be khayt. It is makhit. There's knitting or stitching going on it. This is all permissible. Because makhit is not having stitches. Some people actually ask, they say, can I wear these sandals? There's stitches on it. The answer is yes, because it's not makhit. It's not makhit. Makhit is not just having this. Because Rasulullah was asked, what shouldn't a muhrim wear, a person in ihram? So he said, don't wear a turban, don't wear a burnus, which is almost like a hoodie. Don't wear a sirwal, which is trousers. He said these things. He answered in reverse. He didn't say, wear this, wear this, wear this. He said, don't wear this, don't wear this, don't wear this. So some of the tabi'een, scholars say, some of them say it is from Ibrahim al-Nakha'i. He is the one that concluded that if you look at all of these things, there's some trend going in it, and that is that it is makhit. So people must understand this makhit to mean that there's a khayt that is used in knitting. Knitting is used. But what is meant is that it is worn on the body part. It is worn on the body part. Therefore with shoes, with your shoes, the scholars say you should wear sandals. You should wear sandals for ihram. What kind sandals? Now we go in a few levels of sandals. You get sandals that it just has, like many people wear it, like flip-flops. It's flip-flops. You wear it to the bathroom. Flip-flops. Those are by ijma', by consensus, it's permissible. It's permissible. Right? We'll see some pictures now to go through this aspect of shoes, because it's a mas'ala that is sometimes gives issues on what to wear. So when it comes to footwear, Shaykh Taqiyuddin Ibn Taymiyyah explains this mas'ala very well. He says that the point is that you should be dressed simply in ihram. And the footwear, you need something that prevents your foot from touching the ground. So, but if you put the sole of a shoe, it can't stay. It can't stay. So it needs a few straps. It needs a couple straps, 2 straps. One strap to prevent the shoe from going front and back, and one strap to prevent it from going side to side. And that's why you see in a flip-flop, it's like this, and then it goes like in a triangle, almost half triangle. That prevents it from going up and down and side to side. He said that's what you need. more than that, more things on the sandal, he says that's not needed. That's not needed. Therefore, that's why there would be a difference of opinion on sandals that are more than a flip-flop, whether it would be permissible or not. So the mashhur of the madhab, they say if the sandal has an aqib, or you can say aqab, if it has a strap on the back, and it has, they say a part on the front extra. We said you need a couple of straps to keep it in place, then you have an extra strap. You have an extra strap on it, would that be permissible? The madhab says it will be permissible even if it's a thick strap. So now, if you look at, for example, the shoes that's there, it has that middle strap, right? That prevents it from going front and back, and it's thick. So now it basically would almost be on the shape of a part of your body, of your foot. It would be, but the scholars say it's allowed because you need it. Like what your izar, you need to tie it because it will fall, so you allowed, and no fidya. But now, Shaykh Taqiyuddin points out that you don't need as thick and a big a strap as that. You just need a small, like a flip-flop. So then would that kind of a shoe be permissible? So the mashhur of the madhab is that it would be permissible. It would be permissible. Therefore, those kind of shoes, we'll have pictures now, and a flip-flop, permissible by consensus. And then you have a foot that's like a sock almost, or like a boot. It covers the ankles and beyond. Not permissible. By consensus, it's not permissible if a person can find sandals. If they don't have sandals, then they can wear it. And the mashhur of the madhab is that you don't need to fold it down or cut it off to be below the ankles. Right? So we've covered now 3 categories. The 4th category is when you have a shoe that is almost like a loafer. It's like a loafer. So it is covering the foot. It is makhit. It is on the foot. But the ankle is open. Can you wear this in ihram? Or sketches, for example. You have sketches. It's also below the ankle, but it covers the whole foot. The mashhur of the madhab and most of the fuqaha, they say this is not permissible. Who allows this? The riwayah thani, Shaykh Taqiyuddin. Ibn Taymiyyah allows this, that if you wear this kind, like a loafer or like sketches, he says it's permissible. He says because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said that you can only وَمَنْ لَمْ يَجِدْ النَّعْلَيْنِ فَلْيَلْبَسْ الْخُفَّيْنِ وَلْيَقْطَعْهُمَا أَسْفَلَ مِنَ الْكَعْبَيْنِ. That if you don't have sandals, then you can wear shoes that are longer, that cover your ankle. But he said, cut them below your ankle. So here he said, well, you can wear these shoes, but cut them below. As if to say that once they cut below, they equal to the sandal. So he allows it. That's a very short summary on, it may not even be as precise because he has some details on this. So basically with shoes, you have now, I said it covers your whole foot. Now if you have a foot that, let's say, it covers your entire foot, except your back, except the back of your foot, your heel. That would now not be permissible as well on the madhab and most scholars, because you're only allowed to have those straps. Now this is covering your toes as well. And it's not a strap anymore, it's like covering the whole foot. So not permissible. The same if you had it at the back. So your toes are open, but the back of your foot is closed, and the top of your foot. Because he says, Shaykh Taqiyuddin, that to cover the top of your foot, or the sides of your foot, or the back of your foot, or the front of your foot, there's no need for it. It's going extra. It resembles a shoe you'd wear out of ihram. So therefore, this he's explaining it on the madhab. He has his own explanation, and he would allow all 3 I explained. Covering the whole foot as long as it's below the ankles. Covering the top except the back, and the front except the back, permissible according to him. The back except the front, permissible, as long as the ankles are not covered. On the mashhur, these things would not be valid. So you only allowed on your sandal is a few straps. It's those couple of straps, even if the middle one is thick. So we'll go through some pictures. If we go through the first one that looks like, it's basically flip-flops. If you see that picture, that's like flip-flops. That's permissible by ijma'. If you look at it, you see those 2 straps. Or those 2 straps. It's basically at the top and on the sides. It prevents it from going up and down and side to side. Permissible by ijma'. And that's now, beyond that is what Ibn Taymiyyah says. There's no need for it. If we look at the next one, we go to the one with with the boots and the sock, that is beyond the ankle. That is not permissible by ijma'. By ijma'. Except when you don't have sandals, then on the mashhur, you can wear this and you do not even need to put the sandals down or cut it or something. Okay? So that's the one that it's almost like loafers, or it's a shoe that with you stamping on the back. That will not be permissible as well on the mashhur. Only Ibn Taymiyyah allows it. Okay? That's what we said is basically covering the entire foot, but its ankle is showing. So that one there is not permissible, except in the riwayat thani of Ibn Taymiyyah. The fourth one is the sandal. It's written there 18 مثال السيور العريضة. You with me on that one? Okay, that is the example of the thick strap. The thick strap. Because that is where you have the strap in the middle that the fuqaha allow. They allow the strap in the middle and the back, we said. And the strap in the middle, even if it is thick, even if it is big. Therefore, Wallahu a'lam, that's permissible. That's permissible. And if you look at the last one, I think you guys call it sharqi. Huh? Yeah. That one there also, it has, again, it's kind of makhit, because it basically covers your foot, the side of your feet. Huh? Permissible? Jais. So it covers your foot like that. But we're saying it's permissible because it is needed to keep the shoe in place. Makhit, yeah. It's makhit, but it is permissible because it's to keep the sandal in place.
Okay, it's not to cover the...
Yeah. So that covering is overlooked. يُعْفَى عَنْهُ عَلَى الْمَشْهُورِ. It's just to keep. But even though, that's why Ibn Taymiyyah says, just to keep, you don't need that thick. You just need the sayr. So you don't need the thick. So that's why he points out that's why some would say this is not permissible. Because it's ziyada, it's tarafuh. Ibn Taymiyyah allows a lot. And the mashhur is this is permissible. The mashhur is permissible. Then the last one is number 15. مثل ما فيه سيور وعقب. شفتم? So these ones is where there's straps on the back. Halim, show Abu Hamud also. Okay, you have. Where there's straps on the back. So there's straps on the back and there's straps on top as well. Okay, this is permissible. Permissible as well. Because we said that what's permissible is the aqib, the strap at the back and the straps on top. So this is what it has. It doesn't have any ihata. It doesn't cover the entire, it doesn't cover the foot. It just holds the shoe in place. So all of that is permissible. Even that top right one, all of it's permissible. Then وَتَغْطِيَةِ رَأْسِهِ إِنْ كَانَ رَجُلًا. Then the next thing, which is for a male as well. The previous one of clothing was for a male only, not for a female. A female can wear what she likes. She wears the abaya, it can be on her body part, etc. All of it is fine. This next one is for a male. And that is to cover your head. To cover your head in ihram is also not permissible. It's from the mahdhurat of ihram for a male. A female obviously has to cover her head, it's awrah. So a male, if he puts something on his head, to cover his head, whether it's something connected to his head or not, on the mashhur. If it's something normally put on the head or not, it all is mahdhur of ihram. So on the mashhur of the madhab, if you put sand on your head, to cover your head with sand, it would be a mahdhur of ihram. On the mashhur, if you put an umbrella, it would be a mahdhur of ihram. The roof of a car, mahdhur of ihram. So on the mashhur, they include a lot of things to be on that. So if you hurt your head and you had to bandage your head, so part of the bandage is on your head that you wipe in wudu, that would be that you've put the mahdhur of ihram on. You've put something on your head to cover your head, even if it's a small amount. So on the mashhur of the madhab, they include all of these things. But if you are under a tent, under a house, a tree or a house, etc., they say that is not from the mahdhur of ihram. They say the other things like a car roof, they say it covers and also it moves with your movement. So they will say that's a mahdhur of ihram. If you took an umbrella, mahdhur of ihram. Right, the riwayah thaniya, which is a very strong opinion, and it's the fatwa of the mashayikh today, is that these things that are not directly connected to your head, and they're above your head, it's permissible. So therefore a car it's not mahdhur of ihram, roofs, etc. It's not from the mahdhur of ihram. And another exception is to carry something on your head. To carry something on your head is not from the mahdhur of ihram. Therefore, if a person were to put sunglasses on the head, or their glasses on the head, spectacles, it would fall under carrying instead of covering. So that would not be from the mahdhur of ihram. So therefore, if a person were to wear something that connects to his head and moves with his movement, and it's for covering, like what some hujjaj wear is an umbrella, but it has stands that basically connect to the head. You wear it on your head, and the umbrella is connected up, so you're not holding it. It's standing on top of you, by your head. On the madhab and the riwayah thaniya, it will be from the mahdhurat. It will be from the mahdhurat of ihram. That is for male and female. And min at-tib rajulan wa imra'atan. And perfume for a male and a female would be from the mahdhurat of ihram. So perfume, what does that mean? That means four things. To smell perfume, to intentionally smell perfume would be from the mahdhurat of ihram. The exception is if somebody wants to buy perfume for themselves or wants to buy perfume to sell, then they are allowed to smell perfume. They are allowed to smell perfume as long as they don't touch it, they don't put it on their skin. They can touch the bottle, they can carry the perfume, they can smell the perfume intentionally to buy, and it will not be from the mahdhurat of ihram. So perfume, we said smelling perfume, not permissible. Using perfume, using it on your body, not permissible. To do it intentionally, we're going to come to that now. Number 3, to eat something that has perfume in it. Like what? Saffron. Za'faran. They say it's not permissible to eat something that has the remnants of those things that, of even like saffron in your food. So they say this is not permissible if there's remnants of color, of taste or smell. Taste or smell. If there's remnants of these two, you cannot have it. So if people have coffee, that they have saffron inside of it. If the color, if the taste or the smell is there, then on the mashhur of the madhab, probably the riwayah thani, I didn't check, is that it's not permissible. It's from the mahdhurat. If there's a color but no taste or smell, permissible. Right? The 4th one is to use perfume as cream. To use it similar to basically apply it on your body. Not permissible. Connected to that is shampoos, soaps that have perfume, that are perfumed. Not those that have a flavor. They are perfumed, not permissible as well. Because it's from taraffuh. It's from a person not being simple in his hajj. It's from taraffuh. So these 4 things are not permissible with perfume. Therefore, if a person were to touch something that is usually used for perfume, like oud, the wood, they say, the scholars say, you're allowed to touch it. No fidya, because it doesn't stick on your hand. And they say that's one thing. So all those perfumes that do not stick on your hand, or things that are used for perfume that do not stick on your hand, permissible. They say the oud that you burn, they say it's only used as perfume after it's burned. Before that it's not. So it's permissible to touch it. It's permissible to hold it. All of that's fine. You have plants that have a nice smell to it, fruit that have a nice smell to it, permissible, not from the mahdhurat of ihram. You have plants that you use for the nice smell, not from the mahdhurat of ihram. You have plants that they are for their smell. So those things are not from the mahdhurat of ihram. These things that we mentioned are for male and female. For male and female. A female has a couple more things these few things are for a male and female. So that means excluding covering the head and excluding wearing makhit. The rest is for male and female. A female can also wear, another thing that's for a female is that she's not allowed to wear gloves. Obviously for a male it's makhit, but for a female she can't wear gloves if she covers her hand with something else, like putting it under her abaya or something. And also niqab, la tantaqib. Niqab is what is specifically sewn for the face, but it leaves one or both eyes open. That is specifically for the face, but leaves one or both eye open, she cannot wear it. So therefore, she has to leave her face uncovered in ihram. She has to leave her face uncovered in ihram. But if she is passing by males that are not permissible for them to look at her, she can cover her face. She can cover her face. But they say how? They say she covers her face with something that's worn on top of her head that will flow downwards. So not upwards, it will flow downwards. Right? And you see some people in Hajj and Umrah, some females, they wear like a cap. Then there, the niqab is like on top, then they flow it like that, right? And the mashhur of the madhab is that, because the reason for that is many fuqaha say that the niqab, or this which they're going to make it go down, shouldn't touch the face. It shouldn't touch the face. That's why they wear a cap or something. Otherwise, the mashhur of the madhab is you don't need the cap. They say if it touches the face, it is fine. It is fine. It is fine. But when those non-mahrams go away, then she has to lift it again. She has to lift it again. If she realizes that she must lift it, they're gone. If she realizes she must lift it, but she doesn't lift it, then there's fidya. There's fidya. Okay? There's fidya for the Ibn Aqil from the Hanabila, he also says it mustn't touch. So on that opinion, you'd also need something to prevent it. So some of the scholars deduce from this rule that since you're allowed to do this haram thing of ihram, that is to cover the face, that covering the face is obligatory for a female. They deduce it from that. They pull it from there. Or they say this indicates to it as well. Others don't agree fully with this analogy. But it's mentioned in the books. So that means that for a male, covering his face is not from the mahdhurat of ihram. For a male to cover his face is not from the mahdhurat of ihram unless it is makhit. It is made specifically for the face. It is made specifically for the face, which will fall into like what? Like masks. Masks. If you wear a mask and it's tied behind your back, your head, then it will fall into covering your head also, because you tied, it's made for your head. And if it's the one that just comes behind your ears, then on your face. It will be on your face. So this is a mas'ala some of the mashayikh mentioned, and I'm just recalling what one of them mentioned, that perhaps it will fall into being permissible, so no sin but fidya, because you're wearing this makhit. Wearing this makhit. Then the next thing that's not permissible from the mahdhurat of ihram is hunting animals for a person in ihram, male or female. So the scholars say that what's not permissible is قتل صيد البر الوحشي المأكول. So قتل, okay? It's not permissible to kill a hunting animal. It's not permissible for a person in ihram to kill a hunting animal. It's not permissible for him to hurt a hunting animal. It's not permissible for him to slaughter a hunting animal. It's not permissible for him to indicate to somebody who's even not in ihram, there's an animal. It's not permissible for him to even like give a weapon, here's the gun, to somebody who's not in ihram to shoot. All of that is not permissible when you're in ihram. If you're in the haram, we mentioned last time, all these rules apply to you, even if you're not in ihram. Then, so that's for qatl, sayd al-birr, sayd. So the Shaykh says sayd, which is hunting animals. Therefore, we can actually take it to the next one. Al-barr. So that means sayd al-barr. That means animals that live on land. Therefore, animals that live in the ocean, a person in ihram can fish. As long as he's outside of the areas of the haram, as we mentioned. But he can go fishing. You can be in ihram and go and fish, permissible. Our issue is on land animals. Al-wahshi. Al-wahshi means those animals that are not domesticated. Not domesticated. So we say they must be wahshi, they must be not domesticated by nature. By nature. So you can get an animal that domesticated, meaning you have control over it, it can live by you. But then you get some animals who are domesticated, like sheep or something, and one of them goes wild. You can't have it in your control. This is still deemed domesticated. Even if you even got a non-domesticated animal and you domesticated it, but the nature of such an animal is that it's not to be domesticated. Like you have a wild animal. People who look after, like cheetahs or something like that as a pet. This animal is wahshi. Even though it's domesticated, it's not, the nature of this animal is that it's not to be domesticated, it's a wild animal. So these animals that you're allowed to eat, that are ma'kul, that you can eat, you're not allowed to slaughter them. Even if you can't eat, but they bred from something you can eat and you cannot eat, they all not permissible. So the Shaykh says ma'kul. Therefore, wild animals that are not halal to eat, you can kill them in ihram. You can kill them in ihram. An animal that is coming to attack you, you can kill while you're in ihram. Non-wild animals, so domesticated animals. You can slaughter a sheep while you're in ihram. You can cut a chicken while you're in ihram. You can do all of that because it's not wild animal, right? And we said fishing. Okay, the final mas'ala we'll take is that the final mahdhur of ihram. The Shaykh says, وَأَعْظَمُ مَحْظُورَاتِ الْإِحْرَامِ. The most severe mahdhur of ihram is al-jima', intercourse. That is the most severe mahdhur of ihram. The reason for that is because it will invalidate your hajj or your umrah. If you had intercourse at Hajj before your first tahallul, your Hajj becomes invalid. Your Hajj becomes invalid. But you have to complete your Hajj and you have to do qada of it as soon as you can. Okay? And the person you did intercourse with, once you reach that place where you did intercourse with, you have to be separated. You have to be separated. And in Umrah, if you had intercourse before Sa'i ended, your Umrah becomes invalid. If your Umrah becomes invalid, you have to do qada of it. Right? That's why intercourse is the worst. After the first tahallul in Hajj, so after the first one, before the second one, then it doesn't invalidate your Hajj. But you have to give a badana. You have to give you don't have to give a badana. After your first tahallul, it breaks your ihram. Your ihram becomes invalid. If you haven't done the tawaf of Hajj, you have to go out to the hill and wear your ihram again. You have to wear your ihram again. And for the fidya, we'll mention it in the next lesson, inshallah, what you have to give. And in Umrah, if you had intercourse after Sa'i and before shaving your head, your Umrah is valid, but you have to give your fidya. You have to give fidya. So that's the difference in Umrah between those two situations. Intercourse before Sa'i, the fidya is the same before and after, but before Sa'i ends, it becomes invalid. It becomes invalid. The last thing is muqaddimat al-jima'. So these things are the things that come before intercourse. So that means touching your spouse with sexual desire, kissing with sexual desire. Included in that is looking at something that attracts you of the opposite gender 2 times or more. 2 times or more. Included in that is masturbation. All of that is from our mas'ala here. The scholars say, if you've masturbated or you've looked at the opposite gender 2 times or more, or you touched your spouse with sexual desire, or you kissed her with sexual desire, or you touched yourself with sexual desire, if it is before the first tahallul in Hajj, then you have to, and many came out, then you have to give a badana. You have to give a badana. It doesn't affect the validity of your Hajj or your Umrah, but you have to give a badana. We'll mention in the next lesson. It's about slaughtering a camel. If no many came out, then you have to slaughter a sheep. So you have fidyatul adha. It's going to come in the next lesson, right? The only exception is looking. We said if you look 2 times plus and many came out, badana. If you looked 1 time and many came out, then you have to give fidyatul adha. And if madhi came out from your first look, it's overlooked. Okay? And in those other way, we have masturbation or touching or kissing, those ones, if you many didn't come out, then you have to give fidyatul adha. I just said that. Okay? And therefore, if you thought of something and you released many or madhi, it's overlooked. A wet dream is overlooked. And that's with regards to those masail of mahdhurat of ihram. Next will be the fidya, inshallah. We ask Allah Azza wa Jal to teach us that which benefits us and benefit us with that which He teaches us. Wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.